Coming up,
and you should feel a stretch that's more in the front of your pecs there.
Dr. Kyle Krupa believes it's best to protect your neck, specifically from tech. He'll show you stretches and exercises you can do at home to undo what's already been done. This local restaurateur shares his health journey and how it's affected his menu, plus doctors from different fields are working to reach better outcomes for their patients. All that and more is today on SoFlo Health. Hello and welcome to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie at Tanglewood Park in Pembroke Pines, and I'm practicing Shinrin-yoku. You know what that means, right? If you don't, it is forest bathing. That is the direct translation from Japanese, and it's the practice of getting out in the forest, breathing in the smells of nature and experiencing nature and being mindful in the process. When it comes to the amount of time you should spend in nature, well, the recommended amount according to research to reap some benefits is about 2 hours per week. You can break that up into smaller sessions or go out for a nice long Shinrin-yoku or forest bathing session, or as you probably call it, going for a walk outside. Now, watch this. This is owner of Rocco's Tacos, Rocco Mangel. We recently spoke about his journey with multiple sclerosis and his support for Walk MS. Today, we're continuing that conversation to see how that journey has inspired changes in his menu. So, Rocco, what are we looking at?
We're looking at Rocco's Tacos.
Yes.
We've got the tableside world famous guacamole. We have our shrimp matcha tacos. This is the simple skirt steak with avocado and sweet potato. And then you have a seafood molcajete.
We were here a few years ago, and we shared the healthy options you had then. Since then, it seems that you have even more healthy options. What was the inspiration for that?
I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2015, and I kind of learned about the disease and what different foods do to the body and how you can eat your way in or out of different types of inflammation.
What have you learned that you'd like to share with people that are maybe just now discovering they have MS or that have been dealing with it for a while?
So the most important thing is to listen to your doctor. He's put me on a program once a month. I have an infusion, and I just follow the doctor's orders. And I par for the course. I exercise first thing in the morning. I eat healthy. All of these things here would be something I'd eat. I eat gluten-free. You know, exercising on the days that I don't want to exercise makes me feel better than anything. So like pushing myself forward to get through the next goal is what helps me the most with MS.
Well, I'd love to continue this conversation, but I feel like we should dive in here now and get some food.
So I think we should start with the seafood molcajete with the gluten-free corn tortillas, right? Everything's made fresh. Ready?
Cheers.
Cheers. It's almost like a Veracruz, you know?
Corn tortilla. Love it. All right, Rocco. Well, thank you so much. This is amazing. We've got some damage to do here, and we'll see you in just a bit.
Thank you.
Today, we're at Memorial Cancer Institute. Behind me is the Memorial Breast Cancer Center, and we're about to meet Dr. Reith. She's the Chief of Breast Cancer Services here, and she's going to talk to us about early detection and effective treatment. I'm now joined by Dr. Reith. Doctor, thanks for being with us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about this. It's always something that's very near and dear to our heart in the cancer world.
Certainly. And what's new in this world that people may not be as aware of?
Yeah. So a couple of things happened this year that were fairly critical for breast cancer. A big one was an update to the screening recommendations that just came out from the United States Preventative Services Task Force. So for a long time, there was a lot of uncertainty, unclarity as to when women should start being screened for breast cancer. This year, the task force came out and did endorse mammograms starting at the age of 40. For a long time, there was uncertainty. Do we start at 40? Do we start at 50? Do we start even later? The recommendation is now for women to start their screening at the age of 40. So it's been nice to see some consistency around those recommendations. Most of us in breast cancer always endorsed that kind of a timeline starting at 40.
For individuals who have a history of breast cancer in their family?
That's a great question. It depends on who had cancer and when. So of course nothing can be so straightforward, but in general we recommend starting at 40 or 10 years younger than the first degree relative.
We're in this beautiful facility that's brand new pretty much. What are you able to do here at Memorial that separates you from others?
There's some really great advantages about considering a place like this your home base. This center was designed with the cancer patient in mind. So often we focus on just the chemotherapy, the surgery, the radiation without attention to the rest of the body, mind, and spirit, the things that we need to heal, as well as, really important, our caregivers and our support networks who are also going on this journey with cancer patients. So at a center like this, where we have outstanding medical care all housed under one roof, right? So rather than have to maneuver your way through multiple different institutions, understand your parking, understand what door to go in, where to check in, right? All of these things add stress to a situation that you don't need to deal with when you're stressed about your survivability. So having comprehensive multidisciplinary care under one roof, right, with the patient-centered focus, can alleviate some of that stress. And then you add in spaces like meditation spaces, the Center for Body, Mind, and Spirit, where, for example, in the world of breast cancer, we need to think about surgical support items, prostheses, lymphedema garments, wigs, manicures, the things that help cancer patients still feel whole. To be able to do all of that under one roof, to have bright spaces, an outdoor garden, a cafe that focuses on healthy nutrition for patients and their caregivers, all of the little things that we can do to help reduce some of the stress factors that come into the day-to-day of dealing with cancer really help ease that journey.
Well, doctor, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Sit up straight. Dr. Kyle Krupa shares stretches to relieve neck pain and improve posture after the break on SoFlo Health.
Focusing on you from your team of experts at Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center, South Florida's only National Cancer Institute designated cancer center.
Ready, set, jump.
When thrill seeker Manny Garcia from Miami was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer at 26, he knew he had to take a leap of faith.
I'm just laying at home with like a heating pad like over my abdomen to like soothe this sharp like stabbing pain.
Manny's family brought him to Dr. Peter Hussein, a medical oncologist specializing in pancreatic cancer at Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center.
He had a rare type of pancreatic cancer called a high-grade neuroendocrine carcinoma. His tumor started in the pancreas and it had spread to the liver. Eventually had spread to his bones and his brain.
Because Manny had a rare form of pancreatic cancer, Dr. Hussein was not only able to treat him with chemotherapy, but immunotherapy, which made a huge difference in attacking the tumors.
There's some trials that we have ongoing that we believe could make a difference and bring immunotherapy into the mainstream for pancreatic cancer.
3 months after treatment, Manny's PET scans came back clear. Manny feels great and is back to doing what he loves, base jumping off mountains. He's forever grateful for the support of his doctor and his family.
It wasn't even so much that I had courage because I wasn't afraid. Because of my family, because of Dr. Hussein, because of the Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center.
We're emphasizing getting outside and being in nature today on SoFlo Health. Welcome back, by the way. I'm Hunter Frankie, and this is Tanglewood Park, a local neighborhood park, which I'm sure there's one near you, and you should utilize it. Get out, get in nature, practice Shinrin-yoku, which is forest bathing like we mentioned earlier, just getting out and being mindful in nature. Now, check your posture real quick. Is your neck forward and down? Well, that's what we call tech neck, and Dr. Kyle Krupa is here to help with some stretches. This is Dr. Kyle Krupa, and last week we were helping fix tech neck. Now we're going to empower you at home to be able to fix tech neck yourself. So, Doc, what do we do?
First thing that we need to do is actually try to get you into a better posture. So there's 2 devices that I need you to have at home. Little kitchen towel like everybody's got, right?
Yep.
And then a foam roller, which you could probably buy for, you know, 20 bucks on Amazon, something
Yep.
like that. Remember, we always want to lengthen first, get you in a good position, and then strengthen, not the other way around. First thing I'm gonna have you do is you're gonna lay on your back. We're gonna put this across your back. And we are gonna start to hinge and try to mobilize into extension. Remember, that whole point of rounding forward, we want to reverse that. Cradle your head by interlocking your fingers behind you. Find I would say like a tight, painful segment that's right underneath your shoulder blades, and then hinge back as much as you can while still cradling your neck. If your pain is over 3 out of 10, that's where you're doing too much, okay? So come back up, and then we're gonna go to the next segment. So you're gonna roll downward a little bit. There you go. And then do it again, hinging again. I would hold the bottom for about 5 to 10 seconds. Now, the next exercise I'm gonna have you do is to actually open up your pecs. So now it's gonna go lengthwise. I'm gonna have you maneuver it like that so your butt is gonna be on it as well as your head.
Okay.
And then what you're gonna do is put your hands down to your side. Okay, and you ever do a snow angel when you were a kid?
Yes.
Probably not growing up in Florida.
Not here,
right?
but I did it in the sand.
But you are familiar with it, exactly. So we're gonna do the same thing to open up the pecs, all right, in full range of motion for your shoulder. And then you come down, you can see your chest starts to go up, right? And you should feel a stretch that's more in the front of your pecs there. So nice and slow, you wanna count about 5 seconds for each rep, and then I would get about 10 reps in. If you have really bad posture and it's causing numbness, tingling down your arms, a lot of neck pain, then you can do this up to 3 times a day, trying to space out about 3 to 4 hours apart from each other.
Should I do it before my workout or after my workout?
Always before, because we want to make sure that you're not strengthening on top of dysfunction.
What's next?
We're going to start with strengthening the deep cervical neck flexors. We're going to take our towel and you're going to put this right underneath the crevice of your neck there. Okay, and go ahead and lay back. Okay, and then the idea is to try now to tuck your chin. You want to think about giving yourself almost like a double chin,
okay,
right? Where you're going to be bringing your whole head down into the floor. So what you want to do is every time you press down, you're going to hold for about 10 seconds, right? And then you're going to relax, release for 2 to 3, and then do it again.
And what's the difference of doing this with the towel versus without it?
So the towel rolled up like that gives you a target to aim for.
Yeah, it does definitely give you a cue. We've talked about chin tucks before on SoFlo Health, but not into the towel. And I must say, you do have a better idea of what you're aiming for with this cue. Now, stay with us. Keep watching SoFlo Health because we still have more things you can do to protect your neck. But first, watch this. We're back at Memorial Cancer Institute, and something that's important to them here is not only treating the patient for the cancer, but for everything that surrounds that as well. And they even empower people with something that they can do at home. And to learn more about that, we're going to talk with Dr. Mehta, who is the Medical Director of Integrative Medicine. Let's meet the doc. This is Dr. Mehta. Doctor, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Hunter, for having me on.
You got it. So tell me, you do something pretty special here. Explain it to us.
Well, it's a really unique opportunity over the last 9 years to have been building an integrated medicine program at Memorial Healthcare System. And we specifically work with cancer patients, people who are living beyond a cancer diagnosis. So we draw upon the wisdom of ancient healing traditions from all over the world. And we combine that with the latest science in lifestyle medicine to help improve the quality of life for everybody who has a diagnosis of cancer. So everything from nutritional recommendations and exercise prescription using mind-body medicine techniques, acupuncture, therapeutic yoga, which is sort of different from the yoga that you might experience in the community. It's actually therapeutic yoga.
Would I be correct in guessing that a lot of what you're doing here is empowering patients to be able to take home some of these habits and what you're teaching here so that after their treatment that they can continue these processes?
Absolutely. You know, we have long held the belief that survivorship really begins at the time of diagnosis. So integrative medicine, all the lifestyle methods that we use, nutrition, exercise, good sleep habits, they may not affect your health or well-being between today and tomorrow, but they certainly will between this week and next week, between this month and next month.
How is that different from other places?
I think that, you know, we've long held a very patient-centric model of healthcare. The first question that I ask patients when they come through the door is, what are your priorities? What are your goals? What do you want to achieve during your integrative visits with us? And I think that's an important, that's one way that we kind of flip the model and put the ball in their court. So we're asking our patients, what is it that you want to see from your time together? And that's very different from a more prescriptive model that patients may be used to. Not feeling like you're ruffling anybody's feathers when you're talking about your symptoms is incredibly important to avail of some of these integrative modalities.
Great. Doctor, thank you so much for your time.
Hunter, thanks for having me on.
Pleasure. Try out some of those stretches from Dr. Krupa and prepare for some exercises he'll share when SoFlo Health returns. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Franke. This is Dr. Kyle Krupa. We're still at Crew PT and Performance. Earlier, we did some stretching and began the strengthening process to fix tech neck, and now we're continuing that strengthening process. Doc, what's next?
We're gonna do an exercise called wall angels, all right? So we're gonna go up against this wall. I'm gonna have you kick your feet about a foot away from the wall. Then you're gonna keep your head, your shoulders, your butt, everything is up against the wall. Now you're gonna bring the back of your hands up against the wall. Keep the contact between your back of your hand all the way up. So we're gonna start in this W position here.
Okay.
Drive your elbows down, all right? And this creates like a W here. Now reach up into a diamond position where you're gonna touch your fingertips up over your head. The hardest part of this movement is at the very bottom. You're gonna notice that your chest starts to flare out as you bring your shoulders down, right? So what I want you to try to focus on is bringing that rib cage down and in while still maintaining the back of your hand up against the wall. This is one of those exercises where you wanna spend a lot of time under tension. So that means we're doing about 2 sets of 30.
This one feels good. This is one of my favorite.
Good, so now that this is fired up, we can go to our next exercise, which is gonna be on the Swiss ball. We're gonna put everything together now.
Great.
We had you in extension a bunch of times. Everything is trying to undo that forward rounded posture. Now we're gonna fight against gravity with the use of a Swiss ball and some weights. And I'm gonna have you bring your arms out to the side, all right? And you're keeping your head up, right? So we're forced out, well, we don't wanna be in extension though, we wanna stay neutral, okay? So keep your chin down, but we're still using these muscles now against gravity. Good, and then now lock out your arms. Good, and we're pinching right back here. We're gonna take our weights and then let's bring that up overhead now. Oh my God. Good, keeping your chin down.
And then we'll hold it up or what?
We're just doing reps.
I've never
Relax
felt
that.
this much tension in this space of my back.
Good, lift those weights up. And then now you're gonna bring it into a I position. So up here, you're trying to touch my hands. There you go. Good, keeping your chin down. Come on, lock them out, lock them out. Good, chest stays down.
Oh my God. Wow. When doing this, I feel everything from here to basically the top of my shoulders just lit up, engaged, and then my shoulder blades wants to drop forward.
Yeah, it's starting to fatigue.
How many reps or sets or how many times a week do they need to do something like this to combat a lifestyle that's sedentary?
You're spending, 8, 9, 10 hours in front of a screen. So you have to be doing this stuff at least once a day, minimum.
Is this something like working out where you need like rest periods? Do you need time off from this?
Honestly, I'd say hammer it. When you start to lose form, obviously that's when you want to stop. But if you're still maintaining good form, then you want to be able to get through this routine in probably about 10 minutes.
Cool. If people want to learn more about this or what you do here, how can they?
They can go to our website, crewperformance.com. Also check us out on Instagram at Crew Performance Lab.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
You got it.
I'm a chiropractor, so I put my body through a lot of stress at work, doing a lot of bending, a lot of pushing with my hands and my wrists. So after my first session of acupuncture, I felt very relaxed. Physically, after treatment, I've just progressively been getting better, less pain within my lower back and my wrists and my hands. There are a lot of similarities with chiropractic and acupuncture. Again, both are trying to balance the body. So wherever there's weakness, you're trying to restore that weakness and improve the function of the body. And acupuncture just does it from a different realm with opening up the channels and the meridians within the body, whereas chiropractic we do a little bit more structurally and directly through the nervous system.
This is Dr. Monique. We're at 5 Element Wellness Center once again. Good to see you, Dr. Monique.
Good to see you too.
What was your experience when you met Dr. Parzik?
A lot of people think that chiropractic and acupuncture cannot go together, which is the complete opposite. We can actually work wonderfully together.
He mentioned that you have very similar processes, but not the same thing. It's not treating the same exact thing the same way, but there's similar processes. Have you found that to be true?
I love chiropractic. I've used it myself. So if somebody is coming in with back pain, with neck pain, headaches, a lot of people feel that they have to choose one or the other. That is not necessarily true at all. I actually send my patients out depending on what they're coming in, especially when they bring me imaging, and I can see that chiropractic would actually speed up the process and the results. Absolutely. It's all about results.
He's probably seeing a lot of patients that are in car accidents, have slip and falls, or jarring type of injuries. How does acupuncture help those same injuries?
So he's working more on the structure. I'm working more on the muscles and the other tissues. So we're working with all of it. We don't use just acupuncture. There's a lot of other ideas and science that we use to help those patients. Microcurrent being one of them. FSM, red light therapy. We will do blood work. We'll find out what's going on with your body. We'll help with supplementation, nutrition.
It's similar to when we've talked in the past about Western medicine and Eastern medicine. Although these might be both considered Eastern medicine or along the same lines, it's about getting the person the help that they need with the proper modalities.
Absolutely, and all the modalities can intertwine and help each other.
That's great. And if people want to begin that process here, how can they?
They can call the office, come for a consultation, we'll go over your history, and then we can create a specific treatment plan for you.
Great. Dr. Monique, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and I feel we've learned a lot today. We saw a restaurateur who integrated his health and wellness into his cuisine. We met with Dr. Kyle Krupa, who was helping fix our tech neck in 2 different ways, and we can do it from home. And then we heard from the experts on how to take care of ourselves and be preventative about health problems year-round, which I think is great. And of course, I share with you at the top of the show, Shinrin-yoku, which is getting out and forest bathing, which is the translation from Japanese, and just being in nature, being mindful, breathing in the fresh air, and enjoying yourself. Again, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be paved. I'm standing in the middle of a field in a neighborhood park, and it works out great. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of SoFlo Health. Now, here's SoFlo Home Project host and design expert, Elena Capra, to tell us what's happening later today on SoFlo Home Project. What's up, Elena?
Hi Hunter, so today we're talking about having a cohesive design flow throughout a space to improve the feel and function. Later today on SoFlo Home Project, we tour a beautifully renovated home that truly has a great layout.
Thanks, Elena, and thank you for joining us. Here's what's on the next Health. This device is releasing low levels of electrical current to help relieve pain, speed up healing, and reduce inflammation. Plus, learn about the benefits of eating foods from your local farmer's market. By the way, if you've missed previous episodes of SoFlo Health and would like to catch up, you can find them on SoFloShows.com. You can also follow us and share with us what you're doing to stay healthy using @SoFlo Health. We're looking forward to seeing you on the next show. Until next time, it's goodbye and good health.